Alright, hello guys. So today we'll be looking at a Minecraft working elevator. So this elevator is a bit different from the ones seen in most videos on YouTube. A lot of the elevators on YouTube pretty much just go up and they come back down, and they're relatively simple, relatively quick. However, this one is a bit more involved. We actually can select which floor we want to go to. So in this case, we have 4 floors, including the first floor. And we can basically choose if we want to go to the second floor, the third floor, or the fourth floor. So it's actually really cool. So if we just press the button, all we have to do is just get to the elevator, and then it just starts to take off on its own. So in just a second, we'll be up at the top, and you can see that yep, it worked perfectly. We're up here, and the elevator actually goes back down to the bottom. You can hear the bells chiming as it moves up and down. So we can try it again. We can go to the third floor, and then we just get in the elevator, and then it just takes us up. So it's super convenient to basically go to any floor you want. But you're probably thinking, well, yeah, that's great, but now how do you get back down? Well, we actually have implemented a button where if you just press the call elevator button, it will actually start the elevator and call it to the exact floor that you're on. So you can probably hear it coming, and here we are. So we can just get in and then take the elevator all the way back down to the ground floor. So it's a super convenient way to have the elevator work. So now we can basically take a look at how we want to actually build this. So first thing we're going to do is look at some elevator basics and how elevators actually kind of operate in Minecraft. So the first thing we want to do is place a single block of obsidian. We can actually put it in the ground. So what this is going to do is basically stop our elevator from advancing because obsidian cannot be pushed or pulled by sticky pistons, and also it does not stick to slime blocks. So the main things we're going to need for this are sticky pistons, slime blocks, observers, and some other building material. This isn't exactly necessary for the elevator to operate, but for the elevator to be, I guess, usable, you're going to need something else. So the first thing we want to do is we want to place another block raised up, so we have a bit of an area to work with, and then we'll go ahead and throw an observer on there, and we'll throw a sticky piston, and then we'll throw two slime blocks. And so for this other side, we're going to throw a observer facing downwards, a sticky piston, and then 2 slime blocks. So it's exactly mirrored, and as you can see, they're touching, but the slime blocks are not actually touching. So that means that these 2 halves will not be sticking to each other, and that's basically the key to how this elevator is working. So we're going to place a roof up here so that the elevator does not go all the way to the sky, because basically once you start it going, you really can't actually stop it very easily while it's in motion, unless you have something pre-placed up in the sky. So basically how this is going to work is that this observer is going to power this sticky piston, and this sticky piston is connected using these slime blocks to all 4 of these blocks. It's going to push this block up, and then this observer will trigger, extending this sticky piston, and then actually retracting all 4 of these blocks. So effectively, it's kind of like a worm, how this is going to lunge forward and then kind of pull itself behind it. So let's go ahead and trigger it by triggering this observer. And as you see, it goes all the way up. So we can trigger it again. And yep, one more time. Oh. Yep, so this is the basics of the elevator mechanic in Minecraft. This is sometimes called a flying machine or something, and it can be done in vertical like this, or it can be done in horizontal, and basically just used to cross the land. And it will pretty much run infinitely. It doesn't require any additional power source or anything. So yeah, that's the basics of how you make a flying machine or an elevator. Alright, so now let's take a look at actually how to make the elevator compartment. So the first thing we want to do again is just place an obsidian block down, where we will make sure the elevator stops and we don't have any issues with it pushing blocks into the ground or something like that. So the first thing we want to place is we want to place another space so we can trigger it. And now we want an observer facing upwards. If you guys haven't used observers before, basically they have an arrow which indicates the direction of them. So on the back side of the arrow is the place that they're checking, and then on the front side is the output of the redstone signal. So as we update it, you can see it flashes with a redstone pulse. So that's how those work. Next, we want to add a slime block to the top of that. And now the next two are going to be a bit tricky. We'll just add some spacers here just so we can put a observer facing downwards and then a sticky piston facing downwards. So that should be the middle column there. Now we want to add 2 more slimes to this side, 2 more slimes to that side, and then we want to put a sticky piston facing upwards on both of these sides. So now this is our fully finished elevator structure. So now we actually want to test it out to make sure that it works. So let's go ahead and make a stopping point for the elevator, and we'll go ahead and update it. And there we go. As you can see, it goes up, and then we'll just replace this block so it stops on there, and then we will update it going down. So yep, so that's basically how the elevator structure works. So now that we have the elevator mechanism working, we can start to build the actual cage or structure that we're actually going to be standing in. So we're going to be using these slime blocks here, and we're going to be connecting other blocks to them to build a little spot where you could stand in while the elevator is working. But just note that there's a few blocks that don't stick to slimes. It's the same blocks that can't be pushed or pulled by pistons either, sticky pistons. So, for example, one would be obsidian. So if we tried to put obsidian there, it just wouldn't get affected. So that's not a very good choice. So most blocks work. So in this example, we'll be using smooth quartz. So if we just place all those blocks there, we can just release it, and then there it works. The elevator takes up the entire structure. So, all right. So the next thing we have to build is the actual structure surrounding the elevator, so that it actually makes sense and it's not just floating here in space. So we can start by building out kind of a floor, so there's somewhere to stand. And it should be noted that you don't have to worry about these blocks, the ones that are sticking to the sticky pistons and the slimes, from touching other blocks, because just because they're contacting it doesn't actually mean there's anything going to break. They're not going to be able to pull these blocks, even though, for example, this one's touching it. But what you do have to worry about is you can't build like this as part of your structure, because these blocks are touching these slime blocks. So they will be pulled along with it as the elevator tries to go up. And if there's too many blocks touching it, not only will the elevator start to destroy your structure, but it can also actually just make the elevator not move at all if there's above the limit per piston. So creating a floor like this, and then we can let the elevator go up, and then make this our second floor. So now that works pretty well. Now we have a 2-floor elevator. Now you're probably wondering, how do we actually get the elevator to react, to go up and down by the press of the button? So what we're mainly going to be using is a piston for this design, where we have a block here that when the piston is activated by, say, this button, it will actually go right to where the elevator is. So let's bring it up, and then if we hit this button, it triggers the top observer and goes down. So we'll let it go up, and then we'll basically just build the same thing down here. Alright, so now if we hit this top button, the elevator will retract all the way to the bottom. And then if we hit this button, it triggers it to go to the top floor. So that's basically all the mechanics behind how the elevator works, and you can obviously use some redstone wiring to wire buttons over here so that it's really convenient for you when if you want to click a button here or something and have the elevator actually do something. And the same thing for the floor below it. Alright, so that's the end of the elevator tutorial. Now you can build this elevator on your own and actually make it even bigger and better with multi-levels, as you can see, as we did back there. And yeah, if you liked the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more Minecraft engineering videos. So yeah, thanks for watching.